Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. Now, a lot of people celebrated Christmas a few days ago without giving much thought to the origins of this tradition. But what if everything we thought we knew about Christmas was rooted in misconception? Well, in this video, we'll take a look into the fascinating history behind Christmas and explore the surprising truth about Jesus Christ's birth date. According to experts and researchers, Jesus was likely born between March and April, or even between June and October, as believed by Muslims who revere him as one of their greatest prophets. So in this video, it's like this is when palm color people are waking up to this realization. So why do we celebrate Christmas on December 25th? Now, the answer lies in the ancient Roman Empire's strategic attempt to absorb a pagan holiday known as Saturnalia, a festive celebration honoring the Roman god Satan. So with that said, let's take a look at these videos as different people share what they found out about this. I'll be right back.
Jesus Christ was not born on the 25th of December. Jesus Christ, according to the experts and researchers, was probably born in the springtime from March to April, and also between the year 6 BC to 4 BC. I believe Muslims, who hold Jesus Christ in the highest regard as he's one of their greatest prophets, believe that he was born between June and October. But why was his birthday changed to the 25th of December? Well, that was because of the Romans to absorb a pagan holiday known as Saturnalia, a Roman pagan holiday. In 336 AD, Constantine the Great, who legalized Christianity in the Roman world, and Pope Julius I decided to change Jesus Christ's birthday from the springtime to December 25th. You see, in the Roman world around that time, they still had their Roman pagan religion. And Saturnalia was the festival that they celebrated in December time. Saturnalia was the Roman festival that celebrated Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture and time. And to celebrate, it was a very big social time. They would decorate their homes with wreaths and other things from, flowers and stuff. They would give each other gifts. They would have food. They would celebrate. Sound familiar? Now, as this was a really popular holiday festival for Romans, Pope Julius I and Constantine I decided to change it to the birthday of Jesus Christ and make that a festival day to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. This way it keeps the Roman pagans happy while embracing the new popular religion in the Roman Empire, Christianity.
Grand Rising. So yeah, that's it. Our first year not celebrating Christmas. I want to be honest. This year I did set out some decorations. But after I went down that Ishtar hole, it was over with. Decorations came down and there was no celebrating. I finally had a talk with my kids, and I explained to them. Now, for some of you moms that are with the younger kids, I understand how hard this tradition or this holiday is going to be for some of you. It was hard for me. And a lot of you like to say, well, it's all about how you celebrate it. Yeah. But see, this is what evil wanted us to do. See, they harvest our energy for a certain day for their rituals. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you guys? You can celebrate it however you choose to feel, but all your feelings and vibrations and frequencies and energy is being harvested to evil. For their sacrifice, for their rituals. So yeah, you can say you're celebrating it for something else, but on that day, that is evil's day. Nimrod, the tree of life, down to the ornaments, down to the tinsels. It's all part of their Catholic schemes. Now, I'm not saying that all Catholics are bad, so please don't come for me. I'm just saying that the churches were infiltrated, guys, to lead us astray. Don't you think if in our history books in schools they indoctrinated us and brainwashed us there in colleges, don't you think that the ministry college would be the same? Yes, even more so. Who knows the Bible back and front better than anybody? Satan himself. The rabbit holes are deep, guys, and it's hard. It is so hard. But this year, I finally broke down and I explained and I told my 16, my 18, and my 21-year-old the truth. Because I don't want them to lead their lives with their children in a lie. So, I sat down, I explained to them biblically why this is happening, why it happened. So that way they know. This is what this is about, guys. Generational curse breaking. And it starts with us. I know it's hard. And I also want to just say, for the ones that wished me and my family Merry Christmas, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm trying to find the correct words, because either way, if you say happy holidays, season's greetings, you're still saying basically Merry Christmas. So I don't know, man. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm not celebrating it for that. I'm celebrating for the birth of Jesus. That was a lie too. Jesus wasn't born December 25th, guys. He wasn't. When we tell you everything has been a lie. Everything has been a lie. This has been evil's plan for years, centuries. You're watching it play out. We'll try to. It's up to us to make the change, guys. Love you guys.
Hey ChatGPT, I have a question. Was Jesus actually born on the 25th of December?
No, Jesus was most likely not born on December 25th. The Bible does not give a specific date for Jesus' birth. However, in Luke 2:8, it mentions shepherds watching their flock at night, suggesting warmer weather, like in spring or fall. December is winter in Bethlehem, so shepherds would not have been out with their flocks.
Wow. So where did this date come from?
December 25th was chosen for Christmas because early Christians adopted the date from pagan winter festivals, like the Roman Saturnalia. This allowed them to celebrate Jesus' birth while blending in and avoiding persecution.
So this has nothing to do with Jesus' birthday? Maybe I won't even celebrate Christmas this year. What do you guys think?
The Bible never says that Jesus was born on December 25th, and it's not an official Catholic teaching that he was. So why does the feast land on that day? Is it because of the half-baked theory that the church stole that date from a pagan holiday? No. More on that in a second. But in fact, as early as the turn of the 3rd century, Christians like Tertullian and St. Hippolytus of Rome were trying to calculate important dates in Jesus' life, and that led them to December 25th. The early Christians thought that the day that Jesus was crucified and died was the same calendar date as the day he was conceived. It's a fascinating idea. If you want to check out more, read this article. But anyway, they dug deep through scripture and history to try and pinpoint the day when Jesus was crucified, and that led them to March 25th. From there, you count forward 9 months, that gets you December 25th. And once you learn all this, it really shows just how half-baked those pagan holiday theories really are. Because they weren't even setting out to fix the day of Christmas in the first place. It was just a logical conclusion from their findings about Good Friday. And if we look at the supposed pagan holidays that influenced Christians to choose December 25th, Saturnalia, the feast of the god Saturn, took place on December 17th, and the more observant of you might notice that 17 is not 25. It was later extended into a week-long festival from the 17th to the 23rd, and the extremely observant among you might notice that the numbers from 17 to 23 are also not 25. Sol Invictus, the feast of the unconquerable sun, was on December 25th, and the earliest mention we have of it in recorded history is from the year 354, which is over 150 years after the early Christians were doing their math. There's no evidence at all that Sol Invictus was even a thing during their time. And most importantly, no one ever said anything like we should fix the feast on this day so that we can steal the day from the Romans. The tradition grew around that day for a very simple reason. They thought that was the day. And if you want to dive deeper into all this stuff, I highly recommend these 2 podcast episodes. Merry Christmas.
Now, Saturnalia, held in mid-December, is an ancient Roman pagan festival honoring the agricultural god Saturn because when the holiday occurred near the winter solstice. Now, Saturnalia celebrations are the source of many of the traditions we now associate with Christmas, such as wreaths, candles, feasting, and gift giving. Now, someone might ask, what is Saturnalia? Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar, derived from older farming-related rituals of midwinter and the winter solstice, especially the practice of offering gifts or sacrifices to the gods during the winter sowing season. Now, the pagan celebration of Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture and time, began as a single day, but by the late Republic, 133 to 31 BC, it had expanded to a week-long festival beginning December 17 on the Julian calendar, which the Romans used at the time. The winter solstice fell on December 25th. Now, during Saturnalia, work and business came to a halt. Schools and courts of law closed and the normal social patterns were suspended. People decorated their homes with wreaths and other greenery and shared their traditional togas in favor of colorful clothes known as synthesis. Even enslaved people did not have to work during Saturnalia, but were allowed to participate in the festivities. In some cases, they sat at the end of the table while their masters served them. Instead of working, Romans spent Saturnalia gambling, singing, playing music, feasting, socializing, and giving each other gifts. Wax taper candles were common gifts during Saturnalia to signify light returning after the solstice. Now, on the last day of Saturnalia celebrations, known as the Sigillaria, many Romans gave their friends and loved ones small terracotta figurines known as signillaria. Pardon me if I'm mispronouncing this, which may have referred back to older celebrations involving human sacrifice. Now, Saturnalia was by far the jolliest Roman holiday. The Roman poet famously described it as the best of times. So righteous were the festivities that the Roman author Pliny reportedly built a soundproof room so that he could work during the celebrations. Now, constructed in the 4th century AD to replace an earlier temple, the Temple of Saturn in Rome served as the ceremonial center of later Saturnalia celebrations. On the first day of the festivities, a young pig would often be publicly sacrificed at the temple, which was located in the northwest corner of the Roman Forum. Now, the cult statue of Saturn in the temple traditionally had woolen bonds tied around his feet, but during Saturnalia, these bonds were loosened to symbolize the god's liberation. In many Roman households, a mock king was chosen, the Saturnalicious princeps or leader of Saturnalia, sometimes also called the Lord of Misrule. Usually a lowlier member of the household, this figure was responsible for making mischief during the celebrations, insulting guests, wearing crazy clothing, chasing women and girls. Now, the idea was that he ruled over chaos rather than the normal Roman order. The common holiday custom of hiding coins or other small objects in cakes is one of many dating back to Saturnalia, as this was a method of choosing the mock king. Now, one might ask, is Christmas a pagan holiday? Well, pagans and Christians coexisted, though not always happily, during this period, and this likely represented an effort to convince the remaining pagan Romans to accept Christianity as Rome's official religion. Before the end of the 4th century, many of the traditions of Saturnalia, including giving gifts, singing, lighting candles, feasting, and merrymaking, had become absorbed by the traditions of Christmas as many of us know them today. Now, Saturnalia, the most popular of Roman festivals, dedicated to the Roman god Saturn, the festival's influence continues to be felt throughout the Western world. Originally celebrated on December 17th, Saturnalia was extended first to 3 and eventually to 7 days. The date has been connected with the winter sowing season, which in modern Italy varies from October to January. Remarkably, like the Greek Chronia, it was the liveliest festival of the year. All work and businesses were suspended, just like I've said earlier, and slaves were given temporary freedom to say and do what they liked, and certain moral restrictions were eased. Now, the influence of the Saturnalia upon the celebrations of Christmas and the New Year has been direct. The fact that Christmas was celebrated on the birthday of the unconquered sun gave the season a solar background connected with the calends of January, January 1st, the Roman New Year, when houses were decorated with greenery and lights, and presents were given to children and the poor. Concerning the gift candles, the Romans had a story that an old prophecy bade the earliest inhabitants of Latium send heads to Hades and fodder to Satan. The ancient Latins interpreted this to mean human sacrifices, but according to legend, Hercules advised using lights means light or man according to accent and not human heads. Now, history convincingly shows that December 25th was popularized as the date for Christmas. Not because Christ was born on that day, but because it was already popular in pagan religious celebrations as the birthday of the sun. Now, according to biblical scholars, the Gospel of Luke describes Jesus' birth as occurring during the Roman census, which would have taken place during the spring or fall, not winter. Luke 2 verse 1 to 4. Moreover, early Christian celebrations of Jesus' birth were not uniform and varied across different regions. It wasn't until the 4th century that December 25th became widely accepted as Jesus' birthday, largely due to the influence of Pope Julius. The connection of Saturnalia, an ancient Roman festival honoring Satan, is also well documented. Saturnalia was celebrated from December 17th to 23rd and involved feasting, gift-giving, and merriment. Early Christian leaders seeking to supplant existing pagan traditions incorporated elements of Saturnalia into the celebration of Jesus' birth. Now, historical records such as those from the Roman historian Tacitus confirmed the existence and popularity of Saturnalia during the Roman Empire. In light of these facts, it's clear that the modern celebration of Christmas has evolved significantly from its origins. While the holiday has become an integral part of Western culture, it's important to acknowledge and respect its history. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do our viewers have to say? Share your thoughts, your views as well in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video as we bring you another interesting video.